Pleased to welcome in Baylor assistant coach, former Baylor standout, Zach Dillon joins us now. Man, I appreciate your time after a long weekend, a long road trip. How you doing this Monday morning?
Oh, we're getting to it, man. We're getting to it. We got another big week ahead of us, so no break in the action here.
Yeah, that's it, man. The hits keep coming, don't they? I mean, it's once you get into the grind, you are in it.
You're in it. Yep. No, it's off day for the guys. Guys can reset, and hopefully we'll have some guys up there at the ballpark today getting treatment and getting their bodies right again to turn around and play again tomorrow, and getting some hitters in there to probably watch some video and stuff like that. But obviously it's their off day, and we'll see. We'll see what we get this week. We need to just stabilize our performance level. You know, we play well at times. We're battling with some injuries on the mound that, over a course of a 3-game weekend tend to rears its ugly head at times. And we saw that yesterday. But we're also getting to learn some things about our club. I think there's some big, positives that are coming out of that with getting guys out there that might otherwise not be out there that, we're starting to see improvement from week to week in some of those guys. So that's a big deal, and hopefully that creates some more depth for us as we move forward.
Yep, very well said. The second conference weekend, you guys played at Stillwater against Oklahoma State this weekend, won 1 of 3. You've won the Friday night game now in 2 straight series. First one against West Virginia, now against Oklahoma State. And then just kind of, ran into a buzzsaw in Oklahoma State the next 2 days.
Yeah, our formula on Fridays has been pretty good, and part of that's because Lucas Davenport's been really, really good on the front end of the game and kind of holds them down and allows our, some of our more veteran bullpen guys to get in the game. And, we've done a good enough job on Fridays of scratching runs off their best arms typically to do it. So, hopefully we go down to U of H this weekend and we're able to really stabilize our at-bats for 3 days. I think no matter who's on the mound, no matter what the stuff's like, and that's the hardest part about baseball, John, is like you're only as good as your starting pitcher, and
right.
You're only as good a hitter as what's on the mound for them sometimes. Some of it you got to tip your cap and say, hey, these guys are pretty good. But at the same time, the number of strikeouts have to go down offensively. That's no secret. It's not something that we're not attacking every day and not working on, not talking about. Sometimes maybe we're talking about it too much, and maybe we're giving them too much information or over coaching the thing. But I think, what it really boils down to is, you talk about trying, and I feel like we're trying, but, I think sometimes trying is void of belief and trust. And what we're trying to get to is just competing with freedom and allowing ourselves to see the ball and attack the ball in the middle of the field. But
I got you.
We're getting there, and there are some young guys in the lineup, but there are some old guys in the lineup, and some of the old guys, really need to step up and get themselves going. You talk about a guy like Ty Johnson that's been a 3-year starter for us. His at-bats were better this weekend, had a couple 2-for-4 nights. Tice Armstrong, just, having him kind of stabilize his performance and allow himself to get better swings off throughout the course of the game consistently, I think is a big deal for us. And then getting Pearson going, and I give Pearson a lot of credit for, playing through a tough little finger deal, and he's toughening it out for us, and he's out there in left field. In large part because of that. So hopefully he can heal up and continue to feel better as the year goes on. But we need to get those 3 guys going with the younger guys and the new guys in the lineup. And Travis is being Travis and having a really good year. If he can get the ball in play, he's hitting about 700 when he gets the ball in play. So. Wow. We're trying, and we're gonna keep pushing these guys to be the best they can be, and hopefully continue to get some guys healthy on the mound and get this thing going a little bit.
Nice. Travis Sanders has just been terrific. I think it's a 27-game on-base streak now that goes back to last season. It's a nice guy to put in the lineup at the top of the order every day, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a really talented kid, and he loves to play, and the game's not too big for him. You're not dealing with any of those kind of things. He's got sincere, genuine confidence, and he's a competitive kid that, I'm really glad he's a Baylor Bear. I'm really glad he chose to come back closer to home and play out his college career. But he's been a blessing for sure, and we gotta keep him going.
How about you talked about some of the veteran guys, and how about some of your young guys like Brady Janusek had a really nice weekend and a week really for him. I really like him. He's fun to watch at the plate.
He's really just a competitive kid that is probably at his best. He's one of the guys, if there's too much information being thrown out there, it's probably too much for him. He just needs to go play. He's really athletic, and everything happens really easy for him when he's just reacting and playing free. But he can really run, and he can do some things that are special. So we're excited to keep watching him grow and develop. He's got a chance to be a great draft pick down the road here, and go probably play for a long time.
Yeah. So how do you limit that? Do you just limit the information you pass on to him and just hand him a bat and say, go hit?
Yeah, I think there are certain guys that are like that, you don't want the hamster wheel turning too fast. And it's not that he's not an intelligent kid. It's just, I think his baseball sense and baseball acumen, with him being a four-sport guy in high school, is probably a little more, I won't call it limited, but just simpler. I don't need to know every pitch this guy's throwing. I just need to see the ball and hit it. And I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah.
And I don't need to know what the spin rate is or the horizontal break or the IVB. I'm going to look for the ball, and I'm going to swing at it, and I'm probably going to hit it because I'm pretty good. And then I'm going to go run really fast down the line and make something happen. So I think he's kind of a throwback in that way, where it's like I'm going to go compete, and I'm at my best when I'm competing, and you know what, most of us are.
So who would you say on your team this year is the opposite of that? Who wants all that information, and who can digest it and use it to make them as good as they can be?
I'm not sure. I think a guy like Tice Armstrong is pretty into what's coming at him and wants to know shapes and movement patterns. But at the same time, we've had the conversation too, like, hey, you see the video, you see what the pitch does, the velocity of the pitch, and here's what you need to do. You can't control what they're throwing. They have the ball. You need to do what you do to have success and cover multiple pitches in the zone. And that's really where we're getting to. I think sometimes we're overly concerned with how the pitcher might be attacking us and not worried about our own approach and how we need to get ourselves on time to hit and really keep the ball in the strike zone. I think at times we're trying to do too much and cover too much of the plate, which is causing us to expand out of the zone, with a lot of frequency.
I got you. Zach Dillon with us, Baylor baseball assistant coach. Bears coming off weekend in Stillwater. Is there another team in the league, and this is not just this year but historically, that has a ballpark fit to their game like Oklahoma State? Anybody do that better than them?
No, they've been pretty good at it for a long time. I think Kansas is trying to get there. I think K-State's done a good job with their roster and the way that park plays. That Midwest wind,
right.
And those parks are all conform to, no matter what way it's blowing out. So
funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, they do a good job with it, and they're not just big power guys. I mean, they've got good athletes, up and down the lineup that can run and hit for power. But they do a good job, obviously, and they've struggled a little bit as of late, and really we're fighting it even into Friday night with us and Saturday with us. Saturday is it's a 5-3 ball game, and we give them 2 runs on 2 defensive mishaps that, and I'm not making excuses, but balls in the air that we didn't play very well because of probably the wind and the ballpark that we're in, and that there's no excuse for it, but that's why it happens. And you're uncomfortable and didn't make the plays, and that led to 2 runs, and then, but I thought Zach Wallace was really competitive. Obviously, made a couple mistakes, and then they got hit out of the ballpark. But I think he's a guy that we feel really confident in moving forward. If we're able to kind of solidify our weekend rotation, I think it helps us kind of start to establish roles, you know, in the pitching staff beyond what we're doing on Friday. So we saw Luke McLeod come in there and be really good, and followed by Braden Bergman, who had one of his better outings. So, really excited about those 2 freshmen on Saturday. The unfortunate thing on Saturday is we just didn't score enough runs to win. Our goal is to score 7. If we can get to 7, the winning percentage is way up there. And really got there yesterday. Unfortunately, that winning percentage isn't as good when you give up 13.
Yeah,
So,
true. All right, let's talk about the week ahead. Incarnate Word tomorrow night back home, and then you go back on the road to Houston, a 3-game series against the Cougars this weekend.
Yeah, Incarnate Word, new coaching staff, really good guys, really good baseball guys leading that thing. They're going to be competitive. They're going to play up tempo, fast paced offense, and really probably get after it on the mound with us. So, there are no easy days anymore in college baseball. Back when I was going at it, there were some days you showed up to the park knowing you're going to win. You better show up being ready for a fight every day these days. So they're going to come in here and be excited to play, and we're going to have to match their energy and intensity. And these Tuesdays are important for us. They're important for us. They're critical ball games, and ones that we need to show up and be at our best and continue to get better every day, which is our challenge for our guys. Win, lose, or draw, we're getting better every day, and we're going to see where the chips fall at the end of the year.
Very good.
And then U of H, obviously, going through it these first 2 weekends, tough weekend at Kansas, and on the road. Last weekend, tough weekend against Kansas State, who came into our place right after they played them, and you saw what that offense is capable of. So U of H is plenty capable. They've got good weekend pitching, good weekend starters. They've got some really capable guys in that lineup, guys that are going to play professional baseball, and Trey Broussard for sure. So we'll have our work cut out for us there on the road too. But it's really about playing good baseball. We're not playing the opponent as much as we're trying to play the game well, and that means we're having competitive at bats up and down the lineup, getting the ball in play. Limiting the strikeouts, accepting ball four, situational hitting, moving runners, executing the bunt game, making the defense make plays, putting pressure on them. And then on the defensive side, playing clean, making the average play, limiting freebies from the mound, forcing them to put the ball in play on our terms. We do that, you typically win games, no matter who you're playing, because the margins are really, really thin. So
that's a good formula. Makes sense. Hey, final question. You as a former catcher here, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but how much do you appreciate the toughness of J.J. Kennett back there? That guy has been through a lot, hadn't he?
Well, and I don't know if you know the history, but I've had JJ. I've coached JJ since he was in the 7th grade.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't
He,
know that.
he was in the Texas 12 program with us,
Okay.
and he's just a warrior, man. And he maybe physically wasn't the guy for Power 4 baseball, but mentally and the toughness factor and the compete factor, he certainly has the skill and ability to play, at a very high level. but you wouldn't look at him physically typically and think, hey, this is the guy. But I know what's inside of him. I know the toughness and the heart and the character, and I wanted more of that in our locker room. So
Yeah.
that's why he's here. But he's a tough one, man. He loves to play. He loves to play.
Oh,
You
it's
got to
fine.
love to play to go back there and play with 3 broken bones in your face. So,
Exactly. Just run him back out there. Well, to
yep.
quote Tom Barfield, who's here in the studio, Tom says he wishes you had 8 J.J. Kennetts out there, and that would probably be a plus.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. You know, guys that love to play and show up every day and they're going to fight you no matter what. You can't get enough of that.
Yeah. All right, nice. Incarnate Word tomorrow night, 6:30 at Magnolia Field at Baylor Ballpark, and then on the road at Houston. Zach, appreciate your time. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Thanks, J-Mo.